Заходите.
Демократия. А мы не видим, что ли?
People, if they are victims of discrimination of different reasons, you know better what is the situation in Somalia now. They have no access to the procedure, no chances to be recognized as refugee. The only way for them is to continue cooperating with smugglers and try to penetrate to the European Union through the Ukrainian border. So when you consider help to Ukrainian government in strengthening the border between your part of the world and Ukraine, please remember that you may be in conflict with the human rights because the situation on which you put people who stuck in Ukraine at this point has nothing to do with respect.
Assisting people with that.
Police show no desire to really put those people to responsibility. They refuse to open cases on the Article 161 of the Ukrainian Criminal Code that is especially created for the cases when people do violent acts on the basis of the national or racist hatred speeches or the approaches, and they only open cases on the hooliganism, the general offense. So this, I think this is mostly what we have. You can take more you can take more information from the Vinnytsya as well, who are our partners. Yes, please.
I would like first of all to commend you for your very difficult, obviously, work with these very vulnerable people. At the outset, you were saying that you would give us some idea of the absolute numbers of people you are dealing with, which is fluctuating. What's the situation at the moment?
We think that the number of the adults, Somali community of adult people here in Vinnytsya is around 130 people. From them, 19-20 people are children. However, now we have around 30 of our clients being, from our point of view, absolutely illegally detained in the detention centers of Ukraine on the western border, Zhuravichi, and in Chernigov, Rassudi. So the number a little bit increased. It's normally that the number would increase during the summertime and increase for the winter period, because they use the winter period to easier cross the border, because the border between Russia and Ukraine is less controlled during the winter period of time. You mean here? In Mak это в Рассуде. Yes, of course. We have accommodation center in Odessa for refugees, where the government would put very small number of people, maybe 3-5. The most is being for no reason detained in the detention center. The detention would now last for 1 year without periodical review, without effective right of appeal, because you probably know that the Constitutional Court only recently made a ruling that people who were detained have a right under administrative law to be present.
Maybe you can describe us within your budget, what can you achieve for, let's say, for 5,000 euros within your community? What can be achieved? And second question, if I may, you also handed us the press release, which is in Ukrainian. Maybe you would like to say a few words in English, because I think it's important.
First of all, about the budget. As I say, for the budget for the unaccompanied minors, we have language courses that is twice weekly, and already for 5 hours a week, and it's done more than a year now. We have social representation, the social consultant that visited every flat at least twice monthly. and take care about the social problems of the people, for instance, health issues, if they were needed to be taken to the hospitals, so on. We have very recently, maybe less than 2 months, started legal representation for them, because at some point it was discontinued by the UNHCR, but now the Danish Refugee Council supported us. And we will represent them during the migration procedure. We have a psychologist who does a regular assessment of their situation, given that some of them are victims of the human rights violation back home and have been affected by this. And this is all what we have now for this decent amount of money for these things. We don't ask for more money because we see that clients more or less happy. Of course, if money will come in bigger number, then it will be okay. Now, the issue is not money, the issue is access to the governmental procedure. We cannot guarantee that, we cannot grant that. If you read the court verdicts on our cases that we almost all lost in the courts, you will see that the judiciary system is simply reluctant to understand the reasons why these people are here, despite all efforts, for instance, of the UNHCR that's been done. Please remember about this. Now about the press release. As I said from the very beginning, we are not just a refugee service organization. We are a human rights group that work in different issues. And given the opportunity that you come here today to celebrate, as I understand, the Europe Day tomorrow, which is in fact not tomorrow but on the 9th of May, we just want to draw your attention that in this city, like everywhere in Ukraine, grave human rights violations are taking place every day. Even when you stay here, it is very possible that someone is being tortured in nearby police stations or in other detention facility like CISO or pretrial detention. And this is not only about the VIP detainees. This is rather for everyone who is in hands of the government here and being locked, even more than for these VIP people, with all respect to their own problems. So we just wanted to make sure that over the last period of, since we were founded, we monitoring the situation very closely and helping people who are tortured. We have few cases in the European Court of Human Rights. We have ongoing cases in different levels of jurisdiction here in Vinnytsya and elsewhere. And the premise that you stay now was, for instance, a year or something ago, a subject of the illegal search of the police, where all refugee files were confiscated. Our computers were confiscated for almost 5 months under absolutely stupid charges on spreading pornography from our computers. But the idea was that the government, the police here, wanted to take all refugee files that were property actually of the UNHCR and by this protected under the Ukrainian law. So despite knowing that, they confiscated these very sensitive materials. And we think that it is only connected to the very fact that the government, the law enforcement here, is part of the illegal chain of the criminals who conduct illegal smuggling of people through Ukraine to your countries. So this is what we confident from the information that we getting from our clients. And we openly saying it not only to you but also to everyone else. It was many international media that covered our activity, also from Europe.
I think let me say a few words, if my colleagues agree. First of all, let me say that you are the real heroes of European integration of Ukraine. I think everybody understands you, so don't worry. And I think that the fact that we came here today to see this project confirms that the European integration of Ukraine is not discussed, is not made, is not monitored in Kiev, is in the grassroots. And this is here that we can, let's say, monitor and have a perception, first of all, that there are many Ukrainians like you who, against all odds and with even risking your own lives and careers, are courageous enough to defend these values, that are the values that we all share, and that will take Ukraine one day to the European Union. And I think that I'm sure that all the colleagues that are present share the words that I have expressed. There is also another element which is specifically related to the asylum seeking and the international responsibilities of Ukraine in the context of respecting the refugee and other conventions and human rights conventions, is that these issues are included in the action plan for visa liberalization. And when we hear the authorities of this country boasting how much they are making progress in meeting the requirements of the European Union in terms of visa liberalization, it is cases like yours that we have to keep in mind and that we have to expose, because again, our monitoring and our assessment of the situation in Ukraine is not made in meetings or working groups in Kiev or in Brussels by bureaucrats. It has to be really in contact with the reality. Therefore, I wish you the courage to continue the very humanitarian and important work that you are doing, and that it is through these efforts that Ukraine will be transformed into a partner of the European Union.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
What kind of problems are the children suffering?